Announcing a new Marine Weather University course. Hi everybody, Peter Eisler here, and I am super proud and excited to announce our next course for the university, Instrument Tuning, and a bit on polar editing too. This came about thanks to a free webinar that I gave for the Pacific Cup organization in the winter of 23-24, and they got me to fine-tune my instrument course that I'd produced a few years before. I love this subject, and I think you're going to find it really helpful if you're interested in making your instruments and the data that you get out of them better and more accurate. Marine Weather University, part of the Eisler Academy. It's online 24/7. I teamed up during COVID with my good friend and weather guru, pro meteorologist Chris Bedford, and together we produced dozens of courses. A lot of them are free, but include an incredible curriculum that Chris put together, the fundamentals course and the advanced course, which really gives you a university level education in marine weather. I highly recommend you take a look at Marine Weather University and the courses, not just this instrument course. And in fact, as an inducement through the spring of 2024, if you use the coupon code FUNNESTRACE, you can get 10% off any of our classes and courses. There you can see some of the big ones there, and my partner Chris Bedford in this project. This particular subject here that we come into, instrument tuning, I have to thank somebody that sat in on the chat room during the live course with Pacific Cup, Nick White, my good friend, co-navigator in an around the world race, meteorologist, software designer, world champion navigator. He's won the race around the world, and he's done so much for me in the sport of sailing. Giant shout out to Nick for all he's done, and his Expedition software available at expeditionmarine.com, which I use universally on all the boats that I sail on. Super valuable piece of software that just keeps getting better and better. There's some of the boats that I've sailed on that all use Expedition, and a big thank you to Nick. I couldn't do what I do on the water or off without his help and the incredible software he's produced. Another guy in the chat room for our original course, the Pac Cup, was my college roommate, world-renowned navigator, Sailing Hall of Fame member, and he was training his new puppy at the time of the course. And in the transcript of the chat, you can see both Nick and Stan's comments and contents where they clean up what I might have missed. So onwards into the instrument tuning and polar editing preview that we have here right now. Why does any of this matter? Well, it matters for a bunch of reasons. One, if you're an offshore sailor or boater and you want to use the optimal routing tools, that relies on accurate polars. And in order to get accurate polars, I mean really accurate polars, not just the ones that come from your designer or from some source like a handicap system or something, you have to manipulate themselves, and that relies on you having accurate instruments, garbage in, garbage out. Accurate instruments rather also are super important so that you can sail fast and safe on night and day. So you have the speed teams in tune and really working with the best data so the drivers can sail at the fastest mode, so you can pick the best sails and always be in gear. If accurate instruments are important. If you're using Expedition or some other program to do your pre-start, accurate polars, accurate instruments, and accurate star counts are all important in order to get the box to predict when you cross the line and to help you get the best start possible. There we can see a screen from Expedition of the start screen with the boat with 41 seconds to go, 7 seconds to burn. You have to have accurate instruments if you're going to use the instrument system and your software to calculate the ley lines, whether you have current in the ley lines or not. So let's get in, and here's what we're covering in the Sailing Instruments course, just a little bit of a preview here. We talk about the fundamental data, the wind triangle. You've all seen this before. Here we show the vectors of a boat sailing along upwind with the apparent wind angle, the calculated items, the measured items, apparent wind speed, apparent wind angle, boat speed. You also have heading in there. A lot of different sensors involved in getting this to be as accurate as possible. We take a look at the speed sensors on the boat, the paddle wheels and other sensors. I go into details of how you can figure out where the best place is to place your speed sensors on your particular hull. I've gone deep into this subject on a lot of boats, and you can see from some of the screenshots there. We talk about the all-important sensors up at the top of the mast, and those are the ones that measure the wind angle, local wind angle, and local wind speed. Talk about mounting position, optimum way to set up your sensors to get the best data. We talk about the compasses, another fundamental in our wind triangle, and talk about mounting, location, different types of compasses, and of course the need to get other pitch, heel, and motion to refine into the instruments. Our big picture goals, I'm going to read through this because this is what the course covers. To gain a sufficient understanding of sailing instruments and their calibration, to be able to tune and maintain and use that information to aid in tactical and in sailing performance and polar editing reasons. 2, to understand the basic structure and components of a sailboat's instrument system. This could apply to a powerboat just as well. To understand the real-world challenges of measuring position, wind, boat speed, and in calculating the true wind and current. There's a bit of reality here, folks, and I'm going to go deep into this. I have a great system to apply to that I've used on dozens and dozens of boats. I'm very confident that they'll get you started into the right place. To understand the difference between measured wind and calculated wind. To understand how to configure your hardware and sensors for repeatable and as accurate as possible measurement. No trivial case. Every boat I get on, I go back to the basics and do this very thing. To understand the sequence and procedures for calibrating the instruments so as to be able to measure boat performance relative to the wind. And to understand the real-world challenges that require calibration to be an ongoing process. Yep, folks, you get to step 1, level 1, very important. You're close. But to be ultimate, this is something that you will continue doing for the rest of your life on the boat. And I explain why that is the case. Sure, you can just lock and load and it can be good enough, but to get the ultimate data, you have to understand the real-world realities that require continual tuning. We talk about the fundamental calibration of the basic components of the wind triangle, boat speed, heading, and heel. We take a look at how I use StripChart. You could also just write down the data, but Expedition's data app to really help in the process of manipulating and managing the data and able to get your averages and calculate. We get into the GPSs, and your position is so important, as well as SOG and COG when doing the instrument calibration with my system here. We talk about compass calibration, the deviation setting, boat speed calibration, the techniques, how to crunch the numbers, how to look at the data, and boat speed worksheet. I have a great system for boat speed calibration that I share with you in this course. Leeway does matter, and we go into how to apply, how to figure out what your leeway cal should be, and how and if to apply it in your instrument system. Then we get into calibration world, the wind triangle ABCs, sailing opposite tacks, and getting out on the water and collecting data using a set system. We get into instrument damping because that's important both in the data you look at and what the sailors see on deck. True wind speed cals, super important in instrument calibration, and I share with you my techniques for coming up with those numbers into your system and refining them. The tweaks and refinements in calibration world for boat speed and compass and heading. And then we get into the polars and how we get one of the most powerful tools I like to use is Expedition. And this only is done after you get all your calibration set up. Otherwise, it's garbage in, garbage out. But this is a screenshot of Expedition's parsing tool, which is made looking at a lot of collected data super easy and powerful. By the end of the course, you'll understand why this process, if you want to get the ultimate and accurate instruments, never ends, and you're constantly watching your instrument data and using the systems and tools that I share with you to do just that, is keep your instruments in tune. Big thanks to my mentors in instrument world, late and great Dick McCurdy in the upper left, grandfather of Occam Instruments, Nick White in the chat room, Artie Means on the lower left there, who is my sailing instrument guru and sets up all my boats, world champion, renowned navigator, and great instrument and marine electronics pro, Stan Honey. In the lower right, big thanks to him for all of his insights that he shared with me over the years, and we've worked together since our college days on this very subject. And I don't have a picture of him, but in the upper right, a shot of the last America's Cup I sailed in on BMW Oracle racing team, and our electronics wizard there was the one and only Graham Wynn, who created Deckman for Windows, the WTP software, and also taught me a ton about this subject. It's been a lifetime of love for me learning about sailing instruments, and this course I'm sharing what I've learned with you. The course includes a free license if you want to try out Expedition. Once again, please do check out the other courses in Marine Weather University, especially Chris's curriculum, the fundamentals or the advanced course. And up until the first day of summer 2024, there's a coupon code for you to get 10% off. Thanks for having a look at this, guys. As I said, I'm really excited about sharing my systems, my processes in instrument tuning world, and I'm really excited about this new course that we have online at the university. Thanks very much. Bye. Head over to Marine Weather University to check out this new course and all our offerings in the course curriculum. Isn't it time you raised your weather IQ?